I'm speaking with Kenny Lattimore, who came into our lives as what I would consider like a prince of vulnerability. I mean, you sing with such emotion and I think of all of your songs and where I was in my life and my relationships. Seriously, I mean, that's what music does to us. And I think about the emotions that you captured in your lyrics and your performances. And you're telling me that you weren't a vulnerable person then and now? We know you are now, but then.
I was vulnerable, but I wasn't articulate.
Welcome to Comeback with Erica Cobb. And Comeback Kids, you know, all I do is for you. So my guest today, he has returned. I don't know if he really went anywhere, but he's back with new music and he's found love again. Here to talk about his return to the spotlight. I am so honored to have multi-award-winning, Grammy-nominated R&B singer and songwriter Kenny Lattimore. Welcome to Comeback with Erica Cobb. For those of you who don't know, Kenny is married to divorce court's Judge Faith Jenkins. You guys got married right before lockdown, so I thought that would be a really great opportunity to kind of be in a bubble. Was it like that?
It really was. As a matter of fact, now that I'm back to work and promoting this album, this is more like a who is this guy? You know, I'm sure. It's like the schedule and all this. This is totally different from the foundation that we've laid. We had a complete pleasure, like just being home together every day and getting to know each other and building the foundation of our relationship. So, this part, which of course is what I'm so much used to, is foreign to our relationship.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's healthy. It's balanced. Yeah. One thing that people were really clued in on was the fact that you both spoke about only having had dated for 6 months. And I think this was such an important piece of the puzzle in my mind because so many people are in that, is he into me? Are they not into me? So how did you know in 6 months that she was the one?
Really, I probably knew in about 2 or 3 months. I felt like we were on the same page. We were equal in terms of our ambition, what we wanted out of life, where we were going, our approach to life, our standards. There were so many things that we needed to be compatible in. And I know a lot of us hear these things about, opposites attract and all that, which they do. But the compatibility is what sustains you, because the day-to-day is where you're spending most of your time and foundation in your relationship.
I saw that you said that your personal mission is to show the strong but sensitive and caring side of Black men. And your story embodies so much of that. You've also been very transparent about some childhood trauma. You've talked about being a survivor of abuse. Myself and my husband are CASA's court-appointed special advocates for abused and neglected children. So I'm very dedicated to this subject matter, but I have found that especially when we're speaking to the Black and Brown community, that conversation can look a little different. So why did you find it so important to be transparent with your story?
You know, I was speaking with a friend at Essence Magazine. It was around 2006, I believe. And it was the first time that I ever mentioned that. The person I was speaking with was a good friend, but she was a writer in the magazine. And she asked me a question about my son. And at the time I stopped and I was like, wow, you have to, do I want to tell her the truth about what I'm feeling right now? I think she asked me something like, which one of your greatest fears? And I was like, whoa. And in that moment, I knew that my son was about to turn the age in which things started happening with me.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I've got to protect my son through this. This is something that I'm feeling emotional about now because he's almost 5.
Right.
And he wasn't quite there yet, but it was something that was just real in that moment. from there, she stopped for a minute and she said, you sure you want to, put this information out, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. And I was thinking, I think this might be important for someone. Yeah. There's so many secrets that are held in our community, and so many things that we internalize as if the whole world is going to be against us if I say that. That's part of the issue. And again, for Black men, there are different stereotypes and labels that are put on us when we reveal our life experience. And that is one thing that I think we carry that is weighty, and that I don't want anybody bringing this back up on me, right? Because it's not something that defines my life. It's something that I survived and I journeyed through and I grew from, but I don't want anybody to go, oh, no. We've grown through that. And you as an advocate, I know you understand what I'm talking about, but everybody listening, I think that's what psychologically goes through someone's head. Some of the things that happened to us in our past that the enemy means to paralyze us, we use as triumphs, we use as platforms where we can overcome and then share with other people so that they are able to heal maybe faster than we did.
I appreciate you being so transparent and intentional. There's a common thread that weaves throughout this podcast, and that's your story isn't for everyone. But the people,
thank you. Yes, it is.
Yeah. But the people who it's for, it's such a gift. And when you talked about weaponizing trauma, a lot of people tend to do that. But being in the inside world of especially child welfare, for me, I've found that weaponization of trauma is because of the trauma that person is carrying themselves. It's very difficult to call things out when you are harboring perhaps things that shouldn't be happening in your own family or in your own home.
Absolutely.
And then the cycle continues. So I appreciate you breaking the cycle and helping others to break the cycle as well. Hey, you have a new album, and that has, your voice, your lyrics, your songs have been the soundtrack to so many parts of our lives. So let's talk about the upcoming soundtracks, okay? Because your new album, Here to Stay, it's out now. What can people expect?
Here to Stay is my dedication to singing the love song, the message that never goes out of style, that continues to evolve with us. As I always laugh and say, well, you might have been 10 years old when For You came out, but you're 35 now and you probably have kids, or you're thinking about getting married or what have you. So this thing has continued to grow and evolve and exist in a way that has enhanced people's lives. So I was like, oh my God, Here to Stay has to be a part of that initial mission, which is to sing to the hearts of women and the minds of men to encourage them in love. That's always been my mission musically. So it does that. It's produced primarily by a young guy named Madison, Drakkar Madison Wesley, but we call him Madison. And what I love about the experience is it was like me going back to school kind of moment. Because now we know that the music industry is in a whole different place with streaming and all that. But at the same time, I've lived through all these different cycles of it. I thought from a creative standpoint, the music has changed too. There's a different sound that's happening right now. So what better way for me to be relevant and stay in tune with things, get the young producers, collaborate with young producers that are going to teach you something that you may not have been able to bring to the table. So I learned to exercise some vulnerability in that and not feel like, well, I'm Kenny Lattimore and this is the way I sing and this is the way I do it.
R&B singer, songwriter Kenny Lattimore, please tell us where we can find you and follow you on social media, as well as your album, Here to Stay.
Absolutely. Here to Stay is out on all music platforms digitally, Spotify, Apple, Tidal, everywhere you can go. Amazon if you want a physical CD. I am so excited because this is a part of my independent label as well, with a partnership with a company called SRG. They've been wonderful, but Sincere Soul Records. You can find out information about my touring and any other thing all-encompassing Kenny Lattimore by going to KennyLattimore.com. And there's even a VIP lounge section where you can sign up, and then I'll send you emails to let you know from my VIP lounge, right, what I'm doing, so you don't have to search for me. But in all music outlets everywhere is here to stay. So I appreciate you having me on your show, and I appreciate all the listeners and everybody that will support this record. We're just continuing to spread love. That's the purpose.
I love it. Thank you. Comeback community. Yes, that just happened. I spoke with Kenny Lattimore. Okay. I'm just going to cross it off my list. Thank you so much for listening. For the full podcast, go to my online home, comeback.tv, where there'll be more about Kenny Lattimore, as well as his tour and his new album. So check that all out on comeback.tv. Kenny Lattimore, thank you for coming back with Erica Cobb.